Hello friends, we have a very interesting guest today in AFPA studio. And let me first introduce him to you. He is Mr. Kartik Bajare, who was a student of AFPA and he was an aspirant for the NDA 143. And he had not only cleared the NDA written examination well, he also went on to clear the SSB with very high marks. He has scored 457 out of 900, which definitely means that he was cleared by all the three assessors. Otherwise, he couldn't have crossed 457. And I welcome Kartik to AFPA studio. It's a pleasure having you over here. Kartik, you are a very interesting case as far as the NDA aspirants are concerned. And I would like to take you through the entire journey of yours, right from the beginning. As to when did you first get the thought of joining the NDA?
Actually, it was in 10th standard when I was in 10th, and a retired Air Force officer came to our school. So he just briefed us about all this military life and life in the armed forces. So, and that day only I went home and just surfed on internet. So of course I found it fascinating life, and so and usually I was not a guy diverging to the engineering or core medical course. So I thought this is a good place for me, and so I went on deep searching in it, and I just thought yes, this is me, and I will opt for the career in armed forces.
So how did you go about? What did you do thereafter? After your 10th, how did you approach this NDA written test?
So then after 10th, for better preparation, since I am from totally civilian background, so I joined an academy. I joined one academy. It's in near Bhandara. So there I studied 11 12. I completed my 11 12 there, and simultaneously I was preparing for my NDA. I also qualified NDA 142 as well as 143. So of course there I prepared my whole study.
Okay. So you went to an academy where they prepare you for the written test also. Very good. Okay. And you must have heard about AFPA's mission NDA also.
Yeah.
So when you came here for the SSB coaching, you must have seen these young boys being trained for the NDA. How do you see? Is there any difference between your academy and AFPA?
Well, up to certain extent, yes, difference, because there what they like is a proper defense atmosphere, and here it is provided, since of course you and other staff of AFPA is also from core defense community, and you are the serving person in the armed forces. So it creates in my opinion, it creates a huge difference. So of course, and then students here which I saw, they were also regularly studying a lot, and also in ground activities also they were involved. So of course I felt it's good from that point.
Okay. So you said you cleared NDA 142 as well as 143. So you must have gone for the SSB for 142 also. What happened at that time?
So at that time I got conference out.
You did not take any coaching for that attempt?
I took coaching, but I wasn't that good at that time.
Where did you go for coaching at that time?
I went to Chandigarh.
Chandigarh, which academy in Chandigarh?
It was Minerva Academy.
Minerva Academy, okay. You got conference out and then you decided to come back for 143, you came back to AFPA for coaching. So how do you compare your experience with Minerva and that of AFPA?
Well, both academies are good, and I personally believe it's up to the candidate, how the candidate performs in SSB. Both academies give me a good input, and I also manipulated my own performance. When I got conference out, I sat and wrote some sort of diary, you may say. Diary, I noted down what points I liked according to me. So of course, both the academies provided me proper feeding, but of course then in second attempt I was a bit more confident, and of course it was, and the tips which you provided me, because there I suppose some parts I couldn't grasp properly. So here it was a proper guidance which was provided by you, Colonel Nehru, and other staff of AFPA. So this helped me a lot. Yeah.
Okay, fine, fair enough. So after your second attempt at SSB, like I said already, that you've been cleared by all the assessors, otherwise you wouldn't have crossed 457 mark. So obviously, you've done well in all the three techniques. So what happened thereafter?
Means after recommendation.
After recommendation, you must have gone for the medicals.
Yeah, of course I went medical, and it long for 7 days. But unfortunately, I got TR. It was surgical issue, and Later I also opted to go for AMB, but there also I couldn't clear my medical, and unfortunately I am medically unfit.
So what was the surgical problem?
It was inguinal hernia. What is there? I got detected with inguinal hernia. I also took diagnosis of the civil surgeon. They said there is no other alternative other than operation, and operation was must to be done. So of course I opted. I took a long-term decision. Like if no, I couldn't make it right now, then I could be better after 4 years. So I got it operated. But according to the standards of the Indian Armed Forces, medical standards, so the operation could be done 6 months or 1 year before. It's something. So it was quite recent, so I couldn't clear the medicals.
So I mean, if there was any opportunity for you to get yourself medically checked beforehand, maybe you could have got the surgery done before itself and join the academy, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Well, Kartik, I must tell you as well as the audience that this is exactly the reason. You are not the only one who suffered like this. It is extremely painful after going through 2 years of intense preparations for the written tests, and thereafter taking a 1 year break for NDA 143 and going up to the SSB, cracking it, and then getting medically rejected. It can be extremely painful, and that is exactly the reason that AFPA has now started the medical examinations we do here as it is done in the SSB. And I'm not sure whether you are aware of this or not. Every batch that comes to AFPA now, during the SSB itself, we send them for the medicals and get them screened. And there are so many cases we have found. Somebody is having DNS, somebody is having calcification in the liver or kidney stone. So they can get these small things rectified beforehand before they go to the SSB. And I'm sure this is somewhere benefiting the students. And it is unfortunate that we did not have this facility when you came here last year. But nevertheless, the future generation has one opportunity to get themselves medically checked here beforehand itself. Fair enough. Tell me, Kartik, so now you don't have any other attempt for the NDA. You have run out of age. So what is your plan now?
Sir, at present I am pursuing my engineering degree. I am doing engineering in a Government College of Engineering, Aurangabad, in IT branch. So my plan is to clear my engineering, and while fourth year running, that is final year. So I will be simultaneously giving CDR attempts, and hopefully I will clear it. And I will also, since doing engineering, so I will be also having a technical background with me. So I can also opt for TGC entry, right, while studying in the fourth year itself. So that's my plan, and then again to recommend it in SSB.
So the fire to join the defense continues in you.
Of course, it continues.
Okay.
Once it sets in, so it never gets extinguished.
Okay, great. That's really wonderful. And now let us go back to the that we have young boys who are preparing for the NDA written examination. They'll be appearing on the 6th of September this year. So you actually did not score very high in the written test. It is your SSB marks which were high that brought you to All India ranking 100, which is very good, fairly good. But nevertheless, I think you scored about 140 in math section out of 300. So how did you prepare for the math section?
So right from starting means when I got to know, see, there are 300 marks in mathematics. So of course I had, and from previous year cutoff also I checked it. It crossed nearly, if one is having 100 plus marks, then or 100 or 120 plus marks, then it is clearable. So what I did is that of course we sat in friends and we discussed a lot about this. So then I laid down my own strategy. I selected some chapters like sets and sets there, and then probability, statistics, calculus. Calculus is a very important topic. So it covers such a bulky topic, and it have nearly 35 to 40 questions. Then probability and statistics also comprises of a huge amount of questions. So preparing these particular topics very poorly can easily fetch up you a good number of marks. So of course I did all these things properly. And then another thing is like line and plane, 3D vectors, geometry. So these are certain topics, complex number also. These topics gives you edge over the other students. Like if you go on scoring 1, 2 to 3 questions of these topics, it will boost up your marks. The other part, the earlier part which I talked is a bulky part, so it is must. But these topics are also worth preparing. And then of course binary number, it's of course one or two question asked, but it's compulsory. It will be asked. And certain other chapters are. I also went through the previous year question paper, and I was like pointing out the pattern. What is the pattern which is asked? So how many questions are asked from typical chapter? So then I went on preparing on it. And of course there are certain moments like I wasn't able to solve the question, so I consulted the teachers and also discussed with the friends. So it helped me a lot. So discussing.
So basically, you are suggesting that take those chapters where maximum questions come, make that make sure that you are thorough in those chapters, and then thereafter also do those chapters where you can easily score. Come to those sections or those chapters later. That's your strategy. That's great. Now, how about the general studies? Because it has so many topics together. English is there, history, geography, polity, then chemistry, current affairs, general knowledge, physics. What was your strategy as far as that is concerned?
So for GAT, that is general ability test, it is of 600 marks. So of that 600, 200 marks only of English.
Okay.
So these things only means symbolizes how much important English is. English also comprises of certain topics like editing errors, pointing out the wrong part, then synonyms, antonyms, then idioms and phrases. So of course I went through it. I was having my Aryan Pathfinder, so I went through it properly, thoroughly. Then of course practicing it again and again. Then of course we were having, as I was in academy, there was English newspaper. So it helped me both in current affairs section as well as in the section of English this part, because the more we read, the more we communicate, the more proper we get in English. So this is the only thing for scoring English, and English is must to be done because it is 200 marks or nothing. There are such a huge amount that if you fetch good, then you can clear English. So of course then remaining 400s of other sections, the proper general studies. Of that also we are of science stream. So it comprises of physics, chemistry and biology. Maths is already done. So PCB group, of course it's not that much higher of JEE or NEET level. It's quite easy level if one is proper good study students of and having a good knowledge up to 10th and also 11th 12th. So he can easily cover the physics, chemistry and biology questions. Certain topics like gases are asked, typical gases, contents of bullets, cement powder and gypsum and all these chemical formula. These are a usual thing which we are taught in 10th and acid basis things. So it's good to fetch up marks in physics, chemistry and biology. Then coming to other point, current affairs, which I told you, like from reading general newspaper and also following certain sites. If those are having mobile access, they can follow certain sites like gktoday.in. So it's quite good to keep you updated, and it will also help you in order to prepare for SSB also. Then coming to the major part, that is history, polity and geography. So what I did is like I made my own notes regarding it, like certain years that a particular battle was fought in this year, and then of course what are the consequences of that battle. So these questions were I prepared from it. And similarly from polity also, like fundamental articles, fundamental rights, CAG. Then what are the who can like impeachment process, how can be impeachment process done, the powers of CAG, the powers of president, powers of chief minister, all these judicial body. So these are particular questions which are confirmed they are asked. So one can master all these things if he solves the previous year question paper properly, and if he gets to the idea of how to approach the question by attempting more and more question or mock test or any other properties. So this can fetch mark easily. The economic section I didn't pay much more attention to it. It was easily coverable. Like 5-year plans are there, economic plans since after India's independence. So those are important things. And general knowledge part is also there. So it depends on one's interest. Like of course general knowledge should be must, but if you are able to score good marks in other, it's not like that everything should be attempted, every question should be attempted, or some questions are there to waste your time, or just they are worth leaving the question. So if sometimes the question was like 4 or 5 lines longer, so I used to let it go. Why to waste time on reading? So that was my strategy. And
so what was your written score in the 142 attempt?
142, my score was 420 marks.
Oh, that time it was good.
That time it was good. This time means I was driven towards other interests also. Like I was in 12 studying, so CET also there. So it is good.
So 142 you appeared while you were doing your 12th?
While I was in 12th, I qualified it while I was in 12th studying.
Oh, great, wonderful. So, well, Kartik, it was nice talking to you, and I basically wanted to, wanted you to share your experience, share your strategy for the NDA aspirants who are going to be appearing in this year, September. So I'm sure with this insight that you gave, it will definitely help them. And it is very unfortunate, it pains me that you could not, after having achieved so much, you could not join the NDA. But I'm sure, as you said, the fire is still burning in you. So maybe God has got a different plan for you. And we wish you all the best. Maybe after fourth year of your engineering, or while you're doing your fourth engineering, you can definitely appear for the CDS or through the TGC entry. And Godspeed. We wish you all the best, and we would like to see you in uniform sooner than later. Right? Thank you so much. And as a token of our appreciation, I would like to present a memento to you from AFPA, like we always do, to all the successful candidates who come back here. Thank you, Kartik. Thank you once again.